Yeah. So we may say that Arjuna was a great warrior, great friend of Krishna. Krishna himself explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasam edam uttamam. That my dear Arjuna, I'm speaking this Bhagavad Gita to you, and you're able to hear directly from me because you are my greatest of friend and you are my great devotee. And both the qualification does not allows for us. We are neither we are devotees in progress, and so we are devotees in progress, and still we have not developed that friendly relationship with Krishna. So how can we hear Krishna's voice? It was Arjuna's great fortune that he was able to hear Krishna's voice. How can we hear that? How can we also be fortunate enough to be able to guide it, to be able to get kind of guided by Krishna's presence and Krishna's voice? So, the first of all, the thing is, if we even study the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was not in a state of hearing Krishna. Arjuna was so disheveled and he was all about expressing his emotions, expressing his situation in the first chapter. He was saying, my mind is reeling, I'm not able to stand, my Gandiva was slipping down from my hand. So basically, I'm not able to do my regular function of the body also. What about fighting the war? So his mind was so disturbed that he was not able to hear Krishna's voice. Even though Krishna wanted to speak, although Krishna did not speak then, Krishna wanted to hear first what Arjuna had in his mind, and then when Arjuna surrendered himself to Krishna, then Krishna started speaking. This first chapter is of so much of great importance that how we can start hearing Krishna's voice. So, like the Arjuna had so much of noise going on in his mind, similarly, we also have a lot of noises going on in our mind. It is said that when a lie is being spoken long enough and loud enough, it becomes truth. And when the truth is accepted by many peoples across generation, it becomes culture. And when that culture is passed down to different next generation, it becomes tradition. And all the ideas, all the teachings, all the understanding is all centered around this so-called truth of life, which is all based out in lies. Similarly, we also have been hearing a lot of lies about ourselves, about the world, about the whole situations, about the whole status quo as such. But so because of that, our mind is filled with a lot of noises. And because our mind is filled with noises, we are not able to hear Krishna's voice. And Krishna's voice, sometimes we may think, okay, if I have to hear Krishna's voice, it has to be in a very substantial way, the way you and me speak. So when we speak through words, but there are four levels of speaking. The first level of speaking is we speak through words. I'm speaking very grossly, and you are able to hear me. I'm communicating my ideas through my words. That is, words are speaking. The second level of speech is a speech of your thoughts. Sometime there is no thought recording machine. If there were to be a thought recording machine, it how you can just imagine how much data it would fill, how much data it would consume per per day if our thoughts were to be recorded. So it is said that almost 85,000 thought crosses our mind every day, and 80% of them, 90% of them are of no use. So we also hear our thoughts also, and we also hear the feelings. Sometimes we may not be able to express or able to think, but we have a deep intuitive mechanistic system in ourselves that we can hear our feelings and we can see this is right or this is wrong. You see, the more it's going deeper, the more slower the voice becomes, the more calmer the voice becomes. Words are powerful, words are strong, words you can speak, then it goes to the thoughts, little more calmer, little more silent than the words, actual words, and then comes the feelings. It becomes even more calmer, even more subtler. And the last level is the language, the the soul's speech, the voice of the soul. And the voice of the soul happens at a very, very deepest spiritual existence. So Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that when Krishna speaks, he speaks to the soul directly. He does not speak to the mind, he does not speak the way we speak, although he can potentially, and if we become purified, we are able to hear directly from Krishna. But in our conditional stage, Krishna says in the 15th chapter, 15th verse, that he speaks in the form of intelligence. Krishna says, Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. That the first level of the first level we can hear from Krishna is by hearing him in the form of spiritual intelligence. So how do we hear Krishna's spiritual intelligence? In what ways we can resonate our frequency in such a way that we hear Krishna's intelligence, we hear from Krishna. So how it is possible is a smart formula. There's a smart formula. SMART. So we will be discussing the whole SMART acronym in this, and this SMART, the 5 words, contains the methodologies or contains the way by which we can start sensing Krishna's presence in our life. And mind you, it is like Krishna's is always speaking to us in different ways, but just that we are not able to listen to Krishna. So it is not about Krishna and he's ready to speak to us. You can say, "Oh, why will Krishna speak to me? I'm not that important. I'm a fallen conditioned soul. Why would Krishna speak to me?" But Krishna, when we say I'm a fallen person, when we say I am conditioned, it is actually our mind and body which is conditioned. The soul is always purified. The soul is always soul. There is nothing, even a scratch happens to the soul. So when is speaking, Krishna is speaking directly to the soul, although we may not be able to hear because we are not at a spiritual platform. So it's all about how can I tune myself to the spiritual platform, and the more and more I'm able to tune myself to the spiritual platform, the more clearly, the more distinctly we will be able to hear Krishna's voice. The first the S. So, can anybody help me? What could be the S stands for here? That how we can hear Krishna's voice?
Surrender,
Surrender, yes,
surrendering.
beautiful. Surrendering to Krishna, yes, beautiful. Thank you. Yes, this is one possible. That surrender. Anybody else who would like to share what this S could stand for, which can help us hearing Krishna's voice? Would anyone like to try? Maybe they could just type on the chat section or just unmute and just share with the group what this the first S stands for. So this first S stands for Shravanam. Shravanam means scriptures. So Krishna's voice is already been recorded in the scriptures. So when we hear scriptures, actually we are hearing Krishna's voice. Krishna spoke to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. The same words is been recorded by Vyasadeva, and they are actually Krishna's voice. So Krishna's voice, like for example, if I'm speaking right now, and the phone is recording my voice, and in future, if I want to hear, if anybody else wants to hear what we discuss in this particular lecture, they can just hear the recorded voice, right? So in this case, in the recorded voice, what we are sharing right now, it would remain same. It would remain same in the sense that if somebody else hear it, it would be same what I'm speaking right now. It won't be different. It won't be like as if I'm speaking live and answering their questions and answering their particular concerns, right? But for Krishna, it doesn't happen like this. So once Krishna records his voice, it is an active, dynamic, live voice. What it is active, dynamic, and live voice. Unlike us, if we record something, it remains as it is. We cannot actively or dynamically change what I'm speaking right now if somebody hears according to their level of understanding, and it won't be live. But in Krishna's case, because it is all spiritual, Krishna infuses spatial intelligence, spatial power in his words, that it becomes dynamic, active, and live. It means when you hear Bhagavad Gita, when we hear scriptures, when we hear Krishna's words, what he's already been recorded by Vyasadeva, actually those words can infuse deeper and more meaning according to our level of understanding. So, first level, how Krishna speak to us is when we hear consistently the Vedic literatures. It could be like, oh, but I hear Krishna's, I have read Bhagavad Gita, I mean, I have completed that, but what about now? No. Consistency is more important than intensity. You can just have a lot of encouragement. In one go, you can just read the whole Bhagavad Gita, but it's not about just reading once. It's about having a constant touch with Krishna. How we can have constant touch with Krishna? We can have constant touch with Krishna by consistently reading his words. If we hear Krishna's word in a prayerful, heartful, and in a more open way, then we would see every time same word would give a different meaning. And the meaning would be what is applicable in your personal, that particular situation, the struggle which you're facing, that challenge which you're facing at that point of time. You might have come across that. It happens many times with me that I was struggling with something and some challenges, some difficulty in my own personal life. Just open up one page of Bhagavad Gita, read that particular verse, even though that verse would not be directly connected to what I'm experiencing, but some realization, some deeper meaning of that verse would get revealed in the heart, and then that would be like Krishna speaking. It won't be very loud, because when we speak loudly, but when Krishna speaks very gently, softly, and to the soul. So there's a first understanding that scriptural is reading scriptures and doing Shravanam. And the second is M. What is M? What do you all think the M could stand here for? What this M could stand here for? If anybody would like to help me. This
Memorize?
M, memorize. Yes, excellent. You have heard, you have read. Now you don't memorize that, right? Nice, intelligent answer, Lakshmi. But there is something different.
Mananam?
Mananam, like reflecting back, yes, but not in this case. Mananam is a very important thing. Shravanam and Mananam. What else? Anybody else? What this M could be? Memorizing, Mananam. Krishna says in the 6th chapter, 7th verse, very beautiful. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. Krishna is saying, when you silence your mind, when the mind becomes silenced, then automatically Paramatma is achieved. What does he say? In Jita Atma Prashantasya, when you are able to silence your mind, then what happens? Paramatma Naha Samadhinaha. Samahitaha. You have already achieved Paramatma. What does it mean? It means M stands for being mindful, being present, be here and now, not in there and then. Our mind have a tendency to just be in the past or in the future. We're constantly having tug of war in our own mind, whether our past fears, our past, what I could have done in my past, or what if this happens, or what can I do to protect myself in the future. Constantly we are being being pulled between these two directions. But the soul is in the present, right here and now. The source energy flows like see water. When water flows, water is flowing, you would never see You would never, if you were to choose between flowing river, and a swamp or a stagnant lake, which would you prefer to witness? Flowing river or a lake or a swamp? For me, I like to see flowing river, because flowing river is flowing, there's no stagnancy there. Similarly, that is a soul's nature. Soul is continuously flowing, because soul's is an energy. Soul's energy is flowing continuously. So when soul's energy is flowing, the soul does not like to be in the past or in the future. The soul likes to be in the present. The soul's energy flows in the present. So unless we are able to be present, so remembering is different from the from being present. Remembering means I may remember, I may be in the head, I may remember about my past, about the future, but mindful means being present. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we are worshipping the deities, when we are doing any sort of devotional practices, just being present with Krishna. So when we are present with Krishna, right there and then, when we're chanting, let's say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, we're present fully 100% with each mantra. When we are praying to Krishna, when we are trying to connect to Krishna, be praying to Krishna 100%, being more mindful and not thinking about anything else. So when we become mindful, Krishna is saying, Paramatma Samahitaha. When we are able to control the mind, able to silence the mind, what remains is voice of the heart. Noise of the mind and voice of the, because noise of the mind is so intense, so high volume, that voice of the heart becomes so feeble. So unless we silence the mind, the voice of the heart does not, we cannot hear the voice of the heart. And who is in the heart? Paramatma is in the heart. And if you are able to silence the mind, whose voice will we be hearing? Paramatma's voice will be hearing. So by silencing the mind, by being present with the Lord in different features, by just being here and now with Krishna in different forms, we actually allow Krishna to infuse his intelligence in us. So that is the second. So that is M. So SMART. So what is A here? What do you all think? What this A could be?
Action.
Action. Okay, interesting. Anybody else would like to share what this A could be here?
Accept or analyze.
Accept or analyze. Very good. You're all becoming very smart now. I would like to hear more answers. A, accept, action. What else this A could be for? See, this A is actually is supporting to the M, which is becoming aware. Becoming
Awareness.
aware. Becoming awareness. Become aware. A stands for aware. Aware means aware of. See, there are two kind of bhava, two kind of experiences. One experience is, oh, I am doing everything. I am doing action. I am producing result. I am intelligent. I am able to manipulate. I am able to change things. This I is in the picture. When this I is in the picture, so this I-ness gives you Ishvara bhava. You're a Ishvara. You're Ishvara. Ishvara means you're able to control things. But when we understand that it is Krishna who is controlling everything, not even a blade of grass moves without Krishna's sanction. Even I'm breathing today is not because of me. The whole 99.99% function of the body is completely out of your control. And even if one function has to get disarrayed, your body will stop functioning properly. Even 1% of the body. You see how the Krishna has infused so much of a biological intelligence to the body that all the different body parts are functioning independently so that they can perform their function, also be able to bring out all the function in a harmonious way, in a specific coordinated way. That is intelligence of the biological intelligence. So if we say, oh, it is me who is doing it, then you are not doing it. You cannot even actually breathe of your own accord. When somebody dies, they just die. So when we move from this Ishara Bhava to Sakshi Bhava, Sakshi means I'm just witnessing the world. Krishna explains in the 30th chapter, you're simply a observer of this body and the mind. You're an observer of the body, you're an observer of the mind, you're an observer of the whole world. When we watch a movie, so when we watch a movie, what happens? We're actually observing it. We're becoming aware. What's going on here? What's going on there? Simply becoming aware of the different scenes, different plots, right? Similarly, when we become aware of what is happening inside me and able to observe it drama free. What do I mean by drama free? We have different type of drama goes on inside us. This emotion, that emotion, and so much of complexity, blaming somebody and becoming just sorrowful and just this person is doing bad to me, that person is doing this to me, and I'm getting involved in the life's drama. At least for some time, if we are able to just take a step back and see, I'm watching this Nitya Gopal's drama. Whatever Nitya Gopal Das mind is telling, I'm watching the Nitya Gopal's mind's drama watching now. So to be able to write your situation as a third person, how a reporter would write. When reporter writes, they state objective facts. They don't get into the dramas so much. What happened? That's all it is. Who does what happened? So they're not going into the dramas of a life. Small section, finish. So if you were to write, this could be a small exercise for all of you if you would like to do that. What you could do is you can write the most painful experience of your life. You can write in a piece of paper the most painful experience of your life. You would fill 1 page or 2 page or 3 page like that. But when you write same story, same painful incident as a third person, as if you're writing a news report. So that is like cutting the crap, getting released from the drama. So when we become released from the drama, we become aware of what is happening in my mind, what is happening in my body. Then what happens? I'm becoming a third person. I'm becoming an observer. Actually, what you're doing is you're trying to connect to your own self. Who's observer? Soul is observer. The all our effort is actually not trying to listen Krishna's voice. Krishna is always ready to speak to us. Krishna is always speaking to us. It is just about we have to fine tune our own understanding and we have to come to that spiritual platform and hear from a higher self. So I'm suggesting it's all connecting to your own deepest self, which is spirit soul. So it is the third is aware. S Shravanam, scriptures. M for mindful, being present. A for aware. What is R here? What do you all think? If anybody would like to help me, what this R could be? This R is reflecting.
Righteousness,
I'm sorry?
righteousness, doing the
Righteousness,
right thing.
doing right things, very important. Yes, we all have to do right things in our life. This R, which is referred to here, is referred as reflect. Reflecting means we all have reflective intelligence. Krishna would have spoken to us, but sometime we miss out. Not that Krishna will be speaking the way Krishna spoke to Arjuna. That also is possible when we hear from our spiritual ears. But right now, what we are trying to understand is how we can hear Krishna's infused intelligence. Because Krishna has infused his intelligence in everywhere, even in the nature, even in ourselves. So Krishna's recorded, live, active, dynamic intelligence is already present. When we see what happens, we see when we pray to Krishna to answer some of our prayers, and when we because like communicate is a relationship between devotee and Krishna, a two-way street, right? We speak and Krishna speak. We speak and Krishna speak. How do I speak? What kind of words Krishna wants to hear? Krishna, basically, a devotee speaks to Krishna in the form of prayers. When we pray to Krishna, that is when we are speaking with Krishna. Heartful prayers. And then when Krishna speaks to respond to those prayers sometime. And sometimes we say, oh, Krishna is not responding to my prayers. How come Krishna is not responding to my prayers? I have been praying about same thing every day, every night, but Krishna is not listening to me. No, Krishna is listening to you, but when Krishna wants to give you the answer, he wants to give you the answer for your eternal benefit. Generally, what we pray for is our immediate gratification, like an urgency. Just now it should happen that way, the way I want. But Krishna is, because my mind is anxious and my body is panicked, like the Arjuna situation was, my intelligence was not functioning, like the Arjuna's intelligence was not functioning properly. So then in that case, we want urgent, the immediate gratification, instant relief. But Krishna does not work like that, because we also have to understand how Krishna works. Sometimes, different people, right? I mean, there are different people who would respond to you immediately. Some people will take time. And people who take time actually are preparing me. Basically, I may not be ready to hear Krishna's voice. So maybe Krishna want me to prepare my heart. Sometime I'm not ready, I'm not qualified to receive Krishna's blessings, to receive Krishna's guidance for that particular issue. So when we reflect back, we actually start seeing those what we have missed out. Reflecting could be like through journaling, reflecting could be like Mananam, the Anjali was sharing, Mananam and reflecting, and maybe it could be any way of reflecting. But reflecting is, which is very, very important, so that we see what we have missed out in our own sense of urgency. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, a very interesting verse, Krishna says, Guhyanam Maunasmi. Very beautiful verse Krishna says. Krishna says, Guhyanam Mauna Asmi. What is Krishna saying? I am out of all the secrets, I am silence. What does he say? Out of all the secrets, I am silence. Basically, what is Krishna saying is, in silence, I reveal the secrets. In silence, I reveal the secrets of life. And silence is very secretive. What happens when you're silent doesn't happen when you're speaking, doesn't happen when you're thinking, doesn't happen when you're analyzing, doesn't happen when you're judging, because it is all coming from your own reactive mechanism. The same action is getting repeated. Repeated action is reaction. Action plus repetition of action is reaction. So same action is getting repeated means Krishna is not actively involved in those particular situation. So when we reflect instead of reaction, then we create a space for Krishna to infuse his intelligence and to infuse his words and to infuse his ideas so that we can hear it. So S for Shravanam, scriptures, M for being mindful, A for aware, R for reflect, T for, so what this T could be? This T is multiple things. One is transcendence. Transcend your own situation. Basically becoming tender-hearted and also turning toward other people. So when we are very self-centric, right? It is about me, my mind, my thought, my situation, my emotions, my. then heart is very hard. And when heart is very hard, so there is no place for Krishna to soak his intelligence. How much water a stone can absorb? What do you think? How much water a stone can absorb? Versus how much water a sponge can absorb? A sponge can absorb much more water than a stone can absorb, right? Because a sponge is very soft and stone is very hard. The more hard-hearted we become, the less is a chance that we will be able to absorb Krishna's intelligence, absorb Krishna's guidance, and absorb what is Krishna saying to me. And when we become soft-hearted by sharing our knowledge, by giving out to other people, by thinking about other people, other person, what we're actually doing is preparing our heart to get softened down and to become less self-centric and to become aware of other. Slowly we start coming from our head to the externals, to the caring for people, and actually eventually also get tuned to what Krishna is trying to speak to me. So that is how we can understand that this SMART formula, it works. It's all about fine tuning myself to be able to resonate to the same frequency at which Krishna is trying to speak to me. And when we resonate ourselves in the same frequency, you would see Krishna says that matta smriti jnanam apanamcha, that's what Krishna says. And Krishna also says, Tesham evanukampatam aham agnanajam tamaha nashanami eva bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. Krishna says that it is me who enlightens their heart. If somebody is out of the sincere effort trying to come towards me, I enlightens them from their heart. It is my responsibility. Krishna take it upon himself. Why does Krishna take it upon himself? Tesham evanu kampartham. Because he's very compassionate and kind and merciful towards us. This is another way by which we can hear Krishna's voice, by feeling Krishna's compassion, by feeling Krishna's kindness, by feeling Krishna's mercy. The more and more we get tuned to Krishna's heart, what Krishna feels for me, to that degree you will be able to tune to Krishna's intelligence also. To that degree we will be able to in tune to Krishna's words also. And then he also says Satatam Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. So this is the essence. So what I'm going to tell you now in the next couple of minutes, it is going to be the essence for the whole session. And the essence is when we Priti Lakshanam, when we chant Krishna's name Priti Purvakam with love and devotion, thinking for Krishna, not for me. So that sound of Hare Krishna Mahamantra creates a position wherein we can start hearing Krishna. So when we are hearing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, actually what is happening is along with Krishna words are also coming and we will be able to hear that in our heart. So if we really wants to hear what is Krishna speaking to your heart for that particular day's situation, for that particular struggle you are going through, is by silencing your mind by Hare Krishna sound. When we silence the mind with the Hare Krishna sound, what happens? The noise of the mind shuts down and voice of the heart amplifies. And Krishna says, Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indrehe. That we cannot capture Krishna through our own senses. How we can do that? Sevon mukhehi jivvado. By doing service, how we can do service? Fifth, right? Turning towards other, service, serving other, by serving. Sevon mukhehi jivvado, by our tongue. Swayam eva sprutiyataha. When we serve the holy name of Krishna by our tongue, Krishna himself reveals to us. Even though we may be in our mind, in our intellect, in whatever, Krishna will reveals, Krishna will expand, Krishna will forcefully speak to you. The more forceful turns your mind, for hearing Krishna's name, to that degree, Krishna will forcefully will speak in your heart. It's a shortcut formula. You don't have to follow smart. You don't have to follow anything. Just have to silence the mind by Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that's a shortcut formula. So I give you the long formula, like a long for a long practice. Not that is not important. The smart is important, but you can become extra smart by silencing the mind by the help of Hare Krishna sound. So with this, we'll conclude. If anybody have any doubts, any questions, anything anybody would like to ask, anything anybody like to share, we can
Prabhu, sir,
discuss more.
can you explain one more time? Reflect.
Yeah, reflect basically. Yeah, reflect means how did, let's say I'm in a reflective mode. How did Krishna try to reveal himself to me in the last 24 hours? We have this small conscious voice. We our mind says, no, you should do it. But a feeble voice come, no, you should not do that. This is not good for you. Have you heard? Have you come across any time situation like that? That you want to do something bad, and Prabhupada say that you want to do something which is not good for you, and your mind will say, yes, do it, go for it. People will say, yes, go for it. But there'll be a very feeble voice within the heart will say, don't do it. It's not good for you. Srila Prabhupada says it is Paramatma who is crying, who is pleading, who is urging the soul not to indulge into that sinful reaction. It is an example I'm giving. So, in that way, when we reflect back, in what way, you can ask this simple question, in what way Krishna was trying to reveal himself to me in the last 24 hours? It could be like some devotee may be speaking to you, maybe some you heard something from the Bhagavad Gita, some other people might have given something to you which you were be kind of not aware, and unconsciously you have heard it and just reflected it back. Reflection basically means allowing that space, that silencing your mind, so that Krishna, you can reflect back in the last 24 hours, in the last 24 days, in the last 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, how Krishna has been guiding you and infusing and trying to give you his intelligence.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, so far to me is that I have to ask to myself in a very silence mode that who are you? Who are you to not to me, but to the soul which is inside me, which is where there is a Paramatma. And Krishna is hearing me throughout. Krishna wants to hear me all the time. I mean, he want my ears to be in that silence mode, and then he is going to answer my all my questions what I have.
Yeah, so Krishna, sometime what happens, Krishna may choose to answer immediately, and sometimes Krishna may not choose to answer immediately.
Hmm.
Sometimes Krishna may allow the time to pass by to help you understand
Hmm.
by yourself.
Hmm.
And sometimes Krishna may be preparing your heart because you may not be able to receive Krishna's answer
Hmm.
because I may not be ready, right? I mean, how
Yeah.
much water? Again, same thing. If you put water on the ground, on
Hmm.
the floor, like say on the sim,
Hmm.
on the marble,
Hmm.
will it absorb any water?
No,
No. If you put water into the desert,
it will.
it will soak the water. So
Yes.
now, unless my heart becomes ready to absorb the water, to absorb the
Hmm.
water of Krishna's love, Krishna's presence, Krishna's intelligence, till that
Hmm.
point of time, sometimes Krishna does not also speak. Krishna will remain
Hmm.
silent.
Hmm.
So, and it's very difficult to bear that Krishna's silence. Krishna, why not speaking to me? Trusting
Hmm.
Krishna's timing.
Hmm.
Trusting Krishna's timing is a form of surrender. And trusting
Okay.
Krishna, yes, he will 100% reveal himself to me at the right time. Just that I am
So
not ready right now.
this today's topic was really really good. I mean, it's like I an eye opening for each of us in this journey. that's only the way to see his true self, like, to see my, like, where I belong. And I think, like, Krishna chanting is one of the thing that, like, we have to constantly do it,
Yeah.
and we should not miss it any of the day. Yeah,
So,
thank you
I
so
mean,
much, Prabhuji.
thank you so much for being present and really appreciate your appreciation. And also, like when you chant Krishna's name, is like you're fixing your appointment with Krishna. Sometime we fix, let's say you have a very, very important appointment with somebody, right? So, how much careful you are, okay, let me put in the calendar so that I don't miss it out. If I put it in the calendar, everything is set so that I can attend that meeting and that appointment, that interview, right? Similarly, I'm meeting the infinitely important person when I'm chanting Krishna's name. Is it not like you're having an appointment with the infinitely important person of the whole universe? So can I miss that appointment? Maybe tomorrow I'll postpone it. Maybe I'll do after 2 days. Will you, if you get an appointment with, let's say Donald Trump, for that matter, for example, hypothetically, many of you may not like it, but just hypothetically, if you get an appointment tomorrow at a specific time for 15 minutes, will you miss it out? You will not. Similarly, we should bring same kind of consciousness that I am going to meet the infinitely important person and it's the appointment I have with me. Rest everything is doesn't matter. Because in this time, Krishna is also going to speak to me. When I give my time to Krishna, Krishna will also give his time to you. It's reciprocatory. Ye tamam prapadyante. When you're giving your time to Krishna, Krishna will also give your time, his time to you. So that's why fixing an appointment with the infinitely important person is so important and not missing it out. So anybody else would like to share anything else before we close for the day?
Thank you for a beautiful session. So my pranams to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being present and for being here. So we'll meet again. I request all of you to please chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra at your own place. And it would be great. And we'll meet again tomorrow with a new topic. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.